empty. And then some people be like, I feel empty. I need to go back. I need to plug myself back into this to feel.
And those are the people that be leaving weird comments. It's them. It's them.
Sit there and just want to be involved.
I always wonder, who's sitting down?
Bespoke Minds Podcast, a place where we actively discuss mental health, self-care and healing, share stories to enhance our insight in an interactive way. Hello and welcome to Bespoke Minds Podcast. I'm your host, Cornelia CK, and in today's episode, we're going to have an open discussion about social media. But before we get started, I would like to introduce you to my lovely guests. So if we can go around and introduce ourselves. Who would like to go first?
I'll start. I'm Karl. I work currently as a practitioner for young people. I do that freelance, so I'm hoping to start my own company in it soon as a psychology student. I'm just finishing my master's. And yeah, I've done a whole bunch of other things as well. My CV looks a bit like I'm playing games, but I promise I've done everything that's on the CV. But yeah, I won't bore you with it. That's me.
Right. Yeah. My name is Levi. I'm from Colchester, Essex, and I've just completed my bachelor's in business administration.
Oh.
I'm planning on studying a master's next month.
My name's Elijah. I'm from East London. I work for London Underground and just talk a lot, I guess.
It's a skill.
It's a skill.
Hi, I'm Trish Balusa. I've got a background in therapy, mental health, working with youths. I'm a social activist and reality TV.
Okay.
Connoisseur.
Nice.
I'm Roslyn, on socials, Rose New Woman. Right now, I'm a very busy woman, juggling between two small babies, a wife, and studying nursing. So we're going to move on to a game called Break the Ice, so we can get to know each other a bit better. So I'm going to say two opposite words, and then you state your preference and you tell me why. On a ride and I'll just watch you. Afrobeats or bashment?
Afrobeats.
I mean, you know what
Afrobeats.
I do love Afrobeats though.
Yeah.
It grew on me at first. I was like one of them stubborn Caribbeans where when it first came on the scene, I was like, I don't know about this. But then, it grew.
Yeah.
The Wizkid, all of that.
All of that.
But also, just to be specific, when we're talking about Afrobeats, are we talking about Afrobeat in terms of like Nigerian and West
The genre,
African
the
music?
two genres. I'm just in the sense of
Okay.
Afrobeats and
So it doesn't really include
So it
other
doesn't
African
include
music.
it,
Like,
inclusive.
does it include like Amapiano, rumba, Congolese music?
Subjected to you, because some people would include that still, some people won't,
Okay.
because their definition of Afrobeats vary as well.
I mean,
Whereas for me, like I just
put all of them because
then
remember,
you'll have
we
to
got
put-
reggae.
Yeah, we
this
got
is it.
dancehall.
No, but that's completely different.
Yeah.
Like with me, I like old school bashment.
Yeah.
The new bashment, I don't know anything
don't
about
know.
that.
Okay.
Old school bashment, I'm there. I love my old school bashment.
I feel like that about Afrobeats. I really love old school Afrobeat. And I don't mean like old school, like to how it originally was Afrobeat. I just mean when it started to become really popular in the diaspora, I was really into that kind of Afrobeat. I'm talking about brackets, Yori.
Yeah.
Like,
The-
you know, those days.
Yahoo
The bunch of Timaya, the old school
Timaya, yeah.
Afrobeats, like for me,
Yeah.
I would go into that.
Same.
But the same way with bashment, the specific bashment song
Yeah.
that touches my soul, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Like nothing can touch this.
That's it. Because I think it's attached with memories. Well, for me anyways.
Yeah.
Because, memories, I'm like, I remember. Yo.
Because Afrobeat's so different now. Like,
It is.
Yeah, there's a golden era for every genre.
Yeah.
Even like R&B. When you listen to certain R&B, you think like, my mind goes right back to the early 2000s.
Yeah.
I couldn't really...
Or the 90s.
Yeah.
Does it still
does.
exist?
It does.
Okay.
Just not in the lens that we see it. The same way that we talk about Afrobeats, the same way that we talk about dancehall. They're all different, and it depends how we're introduced to it.
Yeah.
And how that vibe elicits us to actually go out.
and if we're honest, there's a lot of Afrobeats now that have a lot of bashment influence in it. Like and even artists, like we can talk about Panto Rankin, even the Timaya,
That's it.
even
The Burna
Wizkid.
Boys.
You know, there's a lot of bashment,
Boy.
like
Then we have-
Stone Boy. They've got a lot of, so it's kind of like
We have
sometimes.
R&B influences, and that's why I said it's just
Yeah.
so,
Do you know
what I mean?
it's
It's a
so
melting
broad.
pot.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're kind of listening to both, and you're like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
Or it corresponds with two, let's say, two mindsets.
Yeah.
You might be slowing down the day.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you want to hype up the day.
Definitely.
That's interesting.
So do you prefer to build or destroy?
What?
Things in general. Things in general. Are you a builder? Do you like to build things or do you like to destroy things, take things down? It's like saying, are you a hater or do you encourage people? Or
I would say I'm a builder.
Who's gonna say I'm a hater?
There's bare people that will be like,
Maybe.
no, when something is worth hating, I'm there. But but generally, I think I'm more of a builder. I think I've actually got a superhero complex that I'm trying to work on. Like relax, you don't need to fix everything. So I'm generally almost toxically a saver when no one's asked me.
Quite dangerous.
It's like a default setting.
Yeah, it's actually unhealthy for me.
Yeah.
I think slightly I find validation. I feel like I feel validated when I do something because I think in a way maybe being conditioned to kind of like feel like I can't give myself credit unless I've done something
It's an approval thing.
Yeah, it's almost like an approval
Is
thing.
it through yourself or through others?
See, initially I used to think it's for myself, but I think it starts through others. Others validate you through something, then you start to feel validated through that, and then when you don't do it, you're like, no, because this is my role. This is what I exceed at. And then you start to find validation for yourself through that. And for me, I find myself finding validation by fixing a lot of things. And I think it's majorly stems from being the oldest in an African family.
Just about to
There's always a root, isn't it?
Yeah.
I would
Start
actually
from
relate to that
somewhere.
as well.
Yeah.
Because I'm the firstborn in my family as well. So most of the situations I'm trying to fix stuff, you know. Even for the younger ones as well, my siblings, I'm trying to fix stuff for them as well, you know.
Yeah.
Does it not get exhausted?
It does. To be honest, it does.
It
I think
becomes
you
a
get to a certain
burden.
point, you're like, I wish somebody could just do it for me.
I actually think that's even why my iron is low. I mean, no one said it's connected, but that's my theory. I'm like, look, I'm low on iron because
Yeah, I understand you.
Because I've been saving all of you. I'm low on iron.
my iron is low because of this. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. And my vitamin D and everything.
Need a
That's
little boost.
definitely a superhero.
Yeah.
I've been saving you so long that you give me deficiencies.
Do you think by being the oldest that you become like, you're always looking at something that needs to be fixed?
Yeah.
Yeah, to a certain extent, I can agree with that, yeah.
So does that become a part of your identity, you'll say?
Absolutely.
It does,
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I feel validated by it now, and I even validate myself through it. It's something I'm working on because I'm clearly aware of it.
So, and sometimes you're going through your own, but you just keep quiet because you just want to sort out everyone else.
Yeah.
And like I've only started telling myself that no, I need to start speaking out so I can be poured into as well.
100%.
You can't be pouring out an empty cup.
Yeah. And that's why self-care is so important as well.
Very.
Because then you need to recharge as well, and it just gives you time for you to focus on yourself.
Yes.
And a lot of the time, sometimes you can feel guilty by doing that, but it's crucial. Otherwise, you burn out.
Yeah.
You burn out.
It's interesting.
Isn't
that
it?
way.
Yeah.
So do you prefer cheap or expensive?
Cheap. You know why? 'Cause I like a deal.
Same.
Like,
Same. I find a deal
It
for
can be
it.
expensive. Let's say if something's like, I'm one of them foolish people where if it's like this thing costs £500 and then it's 50% off. So the thing is still like £250, which is still expensive relatively. But I'd be like, yeah, I'm buying that because it's cheap, but it's expensive at the same time. So I think, I enjoy finding, and because I'm less of a fashion person and more of a style person.
Okay.
So if I see something and it looks good, then I'll buy it. That sometimes those things happen to be expensive. But that's usually the way I gauge it. I don't really care what brand it is or whatever. If I can see myself putting the outfit together or whatnot, then I'll usually go for that. So if I can get a deal on top of that, all good.
That's it. No, I'm similar. I'm like, I've got expensive taste, but I'm a cheapskate.
Yeah.
So that's what I've noticed about me. I love a bargain.
I mean, if I'm buying, I'm most likely to go for what's cheaper because it's coming out of my pocket. But if it's someone else's money,
The things.
then first I gotta check, like, is there a budget for this? If they're like, no, okay, good. So then I would kind of go for what I like rather than what suits my budget. Do you know what I mean?
With me, it's kind of different. I think growing up, it probably was being cheap. But then when you like and then you start to understand that there's quality. So it depends what it's relative to. So you can go, let's say, McDonald's, or you can go and get something a little bit more dearer, which will fill you up. So it's all about quality in making that decision. So I would say expensive, but it's in relative to what it is. Yeah. I'm not gonna buy like cheap socks. Where I'm just gonna wash it one day and it's
and then have to get another one again.
I mean, I thought my brain went straight to clothing for whatever reason, but I think I spend quite a lot of money on food. I think that's where most of my money goes.
To
be fair. So
I'm glad you guys confessed before me.
I think with food, I'm quite expensive, but with other things, with like material things. With nourishment for my body, I will spend top dollar. But when it comes to appearance and whatnot, then I'm looking for a bargain.
And then lastly, sweets or chocolate?
Chocolates.
Chocolate for me.
I used to be a sweet tooth, but now since the children, for some reason, I like chocolate.
Yeah, chocolates. What's your favorite chocolate?
Hey. Anything that's got like a crunch in the middle.
I love Snickers.
Have you tried the new Twix, the white ones?
No.
They are amazing. And I hate Twix. My sister's going to see me say this. Oh my gosh, she cuss Twix so much.
Have you found out when you've grown older that you start to like dark chocolate a little bit?
I was going to say that. I didn't want to be judged. I don't have a sweet tooth in general.
Serious?
But I do like a dark chocolate.
I was going to make a joke. I was going to say, yeah! I know what you mean.
I know what you mean.
No, not the chocolate. No, I don't like it. It's a bit bitter. Yeah, I think that's why I prefer sweets more because I literally got a sweet tooth.
But I can't eat white chocolate for that same reason. I think it's just when I eat it, it's just like a bag of sugar. You might as well just be pouring into me.
That's why I like it.
I feel like after you've saved someone, have dark chocolate. Replace the iron.
That's what you're deficient in the iron.
I'm so dark chocolate is good for iron.
Yeah, it's got iron in it.
Yeah, cocoa.
Okay.
Cocoa.
No, the cocoa. Yeah.
Oh, I could just take my iron tablet. It's not bitter as well.
Dark green veg.
Yeah. Food and whatnot, but I'll put myself in bitterness. I'm already dealing with bitterness in life.
Fair enough.
Okay, so we're going to move on to the next part, which is moments of truths. So I'm going to ask 3 have you ever questions. The first one is, have you ever lied to better yourself?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we all have, to be fair.
Yeah.
You can share some examples.
Job interviews are usually, everybody does, innit? You walk in there, you put your best foot forward, and then there might be
Put down a first.
Yeah. Well, you know what the funny thing is? I had this debate the other day with someone, and they were saying, oh yeah, did you ever raise your grade to like a first or a 2-1 or whatever? Because I got like a 3rd in my first degree. But every interview, don't change your mind now, people. Every interview never said to me, what grade did you get? They just said, do you have a degree? And I say, yes, I have a degree. And then they're like, oh, brilliant. And that's it. They never said, do you have a 2-1 or a first?
They never asked.
The ranking with the universities, have you experienced?
Yeah, actually, no, that has become a thing.
Okay.
Because I have been to universities where when they've seen certain unis on my resume, they're like, oh, that's a good uni. Or it's more of a conversation starter because my uni's quite popular. So they might know someone that went there or went there themselves. And then you get that immediate kind of, we know each other on a different level now because I kind of know the kind of person you might be because you went to this uni. It's a very weird way of doing things, but as a society, that's the way we roll, innit? We look for similarities in everything we do. So I think, the name of the uni probably holds more weight than the grade that you got.
So that just gives me a random idea. That means people could just lie about the uni they go to then. Who's going to check?
I think when you give them the certificate, your uni name is on the top.
They actually ask. I've never had a job that I've asked.
I think it depends on the field as well. Like in my field, they ask for
fair enough.
Yeah, proof.
But even then, by then, it's usually too late. You already got the job. They're printing it off, and then it's just like, oh, okay, cool. They're just validating what you said.
Okay. Wow.
Okay. Have you ever experienced bullying?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
It's very common, isn't it?
I think everybody has to an extent. Like, just growing up, a dark-skinned child in the early 90s, you would have. I mean, it weren't as bad as like our parents, let's say, but obviously there was still the stigmas. And to this day, I still hear the young people that I work with say that there's still certain stigmas between certain creeds and colours, which is a bit of a weird thing to still be dealing with in 2024. But Where we go.
No, definitely. We're going to touch on that on the next segment. And lastly, have you ever experienced homelessness?
Oh yeah.
I have.
Technically, I suppose, yeah. It was me that made myself homeless. Intentional homelessness. And I thought, I'm not the rebellious teen days where, you don't, but you butt heads with your parents. So yeah, I was one for packing that duffel bag and then just going about my business. Never coming back.
Yep.
How long
Working
did you
like
last?
4 days.
With the sun, yeah.
With fresh food.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to move on to the next segment, which is called Care to Share. So it's a Did You Know? Did you know that 62.3 out of 5.35 billion people use the internet around the world in January 2024 alone? Do you use social media and do you use the internet?
I'm not surprised though.
You're not surprised with the figures?
I didn't know that, but yeah, I could believe that
Just
easily.
January alone, but I'm not surprised, no.
So the social media have a big impact or influence towards your life?
I think, yeah, I think you can't get away with it not having some kind of influence, even if you had no social medias whatsoever, just simply getting in conversations with other people. Now, the way that we figure out what the relevant topics are or what everybody's talking about is through trending online. Whereas in before it was maybe what was on the news or what happened in your local area. And now it's like a very worldwide thing. So some of those things are good in terms of like just being in the know about things. But I find that I limit my social media a lot. Like I'm very conscious of the amount of time that I spend on it, what I indulge in. If I'm scrolling for too long and I'm seeing too much nonsense over and over again, if my algorithm's making it seem like I only need to see this one thing, because I'm very aware of like confirmation bias as well, which is just basically you looking at something and then it affirming what you already believe. I like to go on social media and learn new things. I don't really like to be affirmed in the things that I already know, or already think that I know. But that's just the way that I handle it, because like I said, I work with young kids, so I see the way that it can be quite negative towards the younger generation as well, because there's so much more indoctrinated into it than we were. We kind of grew into it, whereas then we had a period where we never had it, and then we had it, and then now it became the norm. Whereas then if you're born into it, I think it gives different connotations.
It's like a requirement then at that point. Whereas when we were growing up, it was people did have it, but not everybody had the access to it. So our world was still our area, and everything that was going around. And I feel like as time has gone on, it's our access to the world is just in our faces. As soon as we wake up, it's just there. So you're always dealing with the negative, and negative news spreads much faster than positive news.
So what are some of the negatives, do you think, then?
Of what?
Social media? Are there any negatives?
Cyberbullying, for example, yeah. That's a big one as well.
There's a lot of projection on social media. I think there's a lot of projection in the world. I think people just generally project because a lot of people don't really work on self-awareness. But I think social media gives access for people to project onto people they'll never interact with, never meet, don't know anything about them. I think that's one of the bad things about social media, is that it makes us feel comfortable with people that we don't know. But because we see them or we have access to them, we assume that we know them and then project a lot of judgments. And there's also a sense of, there's things that you won't go out to people, to their faces and say, but somehow people can comment that on your post, and you're like...
So it's a bit of a persona.
Fake confidence. Right?
There's a sense of, I think people forget that social media, even though it's not the real world, it's still real people interacting on social media. And I think sometimes people go to social media to escape, forgetting that actually still a sense of reality for all of us. We're still responsible for the things that happen.
I think it's the sense for me. The trending aspect is that you totally forget, some people, and children specifically, totally forget their individuality. So they just follow on what's... So you end up doing things because X person did it and then Y person did it, but you may not want those things. You might see that, oh yeah, I need to go on holiday. I need to spend this amount. I need to have this car. I need to have this house by this time. And because you're seeing snapshots of people's lives every single day, it will spiral you into depression or anxiety or feel like you're comparing your life towards a snapshot of somebody else.
And there's the comparisons as well, because even those are false. Because, for instance, most people on social media, they put their best foot forward. You're not going to see the times where they're alone or upset or depressed or envious or whatever. You're only going to see them on a boat in Dubai. You get what I mean?
But it's not like they're posting their bank account and saying they're in debt. So you're just seeing, oh man, they've just gone on holiday and they've gone on holiday again. What job is giving annual leave like this? Maybe I need to go.
There is a lot of, I think social media has created a world that's not necessarily true. And I think a lot of people, it's kind of a bit of an escape, to be fair. I think a lot of people, especially on Instagram, everybody's rich on Instagram.
This is it.
Do you know what I mean? Everybody's doing really well. But then when you're having the same conversation with those people, like, how are you? You get a complete different answer. You're thinking, oh, but I was okay. What?
It was just the other day.
It was just do you know what I mean? Or even when we do hear about like suicide and whatnot, and you think, oh my gosh, that person just posted, but that person just and then we're quite shocked because we're forgetting that actually it's a performative platform.
So basically, we've got double life. Basically. We've got our let's say our AI / technology life. And then we've got our real life.
So social media, it's an escape.
I think social media became negative for me when they introduced the like button and when they introduced the premise of an influencer. Because why do you need somebody to be an influencer on the platform? If you're influenced by that person, then that should be of your own accord. You shouldn't have to be told that this person is an influencer and you give them a bright blue tick and now everybody knows that this is someone to aspire to or that does something that you should want. It advertises personalities and then therefore it creates a lesser and a more than when it comes to actually you value in yourself. I think when you watch other people, it makes you feel like if you're not doing as much as A, then you're not doing well enough.
I think what you said with the like button is like, what value do we place on the like button? It's not unanimous around all of us. I feel like we've all got different levels of the like. So when we post something, there could be somebody who gets 300 likes but still feels like it's one.
In a bigger sense as well, can affect people's self-esteem as well.
Absolutely.
Because of that need for external validation.
But what other reason for having a like button is there apart from validation? That's why I don't see the need for it at all, to be fair, because I don't see another function for that rather than to validate what you've done.
Do you think that, so we all had Facebook and that wasn't, people were still posting pictures and there still was a like button, I'm guessing.
It was eventually,
but it's not until we had like Instagram, which felt like a conveyor belt.
And most people on Facebook, it was mostly like people that you know. With Instagram now, it's like the whole world.
I think my Facebook is still strictly for like family that I have in Canada that I would only see once a year or once in a blue moon kind of thing.
To be fair, I think the Facebook days, in terms of that, I felt like that was more for socializing. Like those days when it's like MSN, Facebook and whatnot.
Direct.
It was literally for, you wanted to interact with those people, even if you didn't know them. Even if on MSN there's like a big group, people will add each other, then they start talking to each other. I think with Instagram and social media as it is now, it is a sense of creating a sense of hierarchy. I think it kind of like it perpetuates a lot of hierarchies when it comes to like in terms of race, in terms of wealth, in terms of class. There's very much a need to be different, you know, for someone to be up here and for someone else to be down there. And I think that's where the likes does come in, because then sometimes people, even like influencers or reality stars or celebrities, they're measured by the amount of likes that they have or the amount of interaction that they have, not necessarily the content. Do you know what I mean?
In a sense, it's like a social class within itself.
Exactly. Someone may be putting good content, but then maybe a certain TV channel might not take them on because they're like, oh, we really like her content, but the numbers are not doing great. But however, this person's really problematic, but those numbers, we need to get them on TV straight away.
This is it.
And that makes sense for some professions, like if you're a celebrity or if you're in advertising or if you're in that world. But to think that kids as young as 8 or 9 have an Instagram and all of these other things, and they don't understand all of these connotations that come with it, but they feel the psychological effects of it. It is quite damaging, I think.
When I had my child, it was like there was a whole new trend like snatchback and stuff like that, like a woman just having a baby and then looking you know.
Which is mad.
So I had to go on a social media fast. I had to come off it because it was messing around with my head.
This is it.
Like, literally. And I started having these ideas of going to get my body done, get my face done and stuff like that. And it really was messing me up. So I was just like, no, I have to come off this and find myself and be realistic with myself and live in the real world.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these people are editing their pictures crazy and whatever. Yeah. So that was nice.
And that's the thing, it can really reinforce a lot of insecurities as well.
Yeah.
And there's statistics that shows that social media is known to increase anxiety and depression. There's a link and there's a connection
and
with
body
that too.
dysmorphia as well. It's becoming
This
a
is it.
big thing,
It's a very
especially
big
even
thing.
for these young boys. Before it was more for the girls because
Yeah.
girls were expected to look and act a certain type of way.
Yeah.
But even these boys I'm seeing now, as young as like 12 years old, they're taking creatine and all of these other things because they think, because they see other young people on Instagram, like you see this little, I don't know if you've seen him, I don't know his name, but there's this little boy and he looks like a little boy. He looks like he's about 13, 14 years old, but he's like ripped. He's completely ripped.
I think I've seen that.
Yeah, you've probably seen him on your random.
seen it.
And now, like, all of these kids are watching people like him and thinking, by 12 years old, I should look like this.
Oh, wow.
So that's what I'm saying. So a lot of them, they're taking all of these things. It's crazy out there.
I think it goes back to like what Elijah was saying as well, because I've spoken to a lot of young people and they've said that they've got it so hard now in comparison to before. I think when we were growing up, social media was just coming out.
Free.
So
And
now
still able to be young.
And also the internet was limited. Let's be honest,
Yeah,
guys.
that's true.
Half of us couldn't use a computer and be on the phone at the same time.
Exactly.
Thank God for that. Because
We all had to share, we all had to do that. But unfortunately, as you've just said, it's just like we see somebody who's, let's say, manufactured their photo, and then we feel like, for girls, it might feel like we need to get our breasts done. We need to do this, we need to do that. We can see that guys now are looking at photos and going, well, I need to get taller. And then there's that surgery that you can smash the leg and then
Seen that.
make your legs taller.
really,
Yeah, for real.
yeah,
So you-
there's the knee thing.
So basically, they I think they smash the leg
that sounds painful.
and then put a rod in it, and then it calcifies around that rod and makes them taller.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but all of these things
And
are
all
like,
this-
it's like mutilation. Like even these the veneers that are so popular and everybody has
They
them.
mess up your teeth.
You,
You know?
and have you ever seen the way they shave them
they
down
shave
before
up
they
now.
put?
So we've got to a point where we're going to harm ourselves in order to
We are.
externally feel better through somebody else's validation.
And
Whereas,
again, it wouldn't be so bad if we was trying to look like an individual. We're all modeling ourselves over this, like maybe one or two people. All of these girls are trying to look like either a Beyonce or a Kim Kardashian most of the time, or Rihanna, creating that one look for themselves.
Yeah, they all.
And then with the guys, again, they're all trying to look either, if you're light skinned, you're trying to look like Drake.
Yeah.
If you're dark skinned, then you have to be big and buff and kind of
Yeah.
perpetuate all of these kind of stereotypes that are for dark skinned black males. So there is a lot of, I think social media doesn't create these things because these things existed before social media.
Yeah.
But I think it's done a very good job of amplifying it.
And I think, sorry, outside of the looks and stuff, I think there's also like social media has created a really unrealistic expectation. I think just in terms of goals and wealth and jobs and stuff as well, because we've now come to the point where it's not so much now. I think it's slowing down now, but there was really like, by the age of 23, I bought my second house, my third house.
Yeah.
You know, and you're kind of like, I'm like, where did you get this?
We're all millennials out here. We know that ain't
But you know when you're not for a long time, I was feeling bad because I'm like, wait, hold on.
Where's my
Where are
second
these
house?
resources?
Yeah. Why am I behind?
What are you guys tapping into?
So they'll always tell you about what they've got, but not how they've done it.
Yeah, and
You just see the end product.
that
You
was
don't see the
becoming
journey.
quite popular at some point, and I'm like, well, hold on, I actually really feel bad about myself, and I know that I don't know how they got it. They could have gotten it anyhow, but it doesn't sound like they got it anyhow from their caption. It says they work hard and play hard. I'm like, bro, and I think there's that comparison as well. That I think that's probably where the depression and the anxiety will come in, because even me now, especially tapping into the reality world, I avoid going on Instagram first thing because it's something I used to do a lot, and I didn't mind when I was just.
But now your world is so.
Now my world looks different. The people I follow are different. The people I went into the house with are very different. And I wake up and I see something. I'm like, oh my gosh, how did they get this? Then I'm, whoa.
But the crazy thing about it is
Limited
that most
time.
of the people that are actually influencers or doing well on Instagram, they're not on Instagram all the time. They just post what they need to do and they're out.
And
Yeah,
they're living
because
their
it's
life.
monetized for them. So
Yeah.
that's they've got a rhyme and a reason for doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
But like I said, the average person has no business being on the same platform as these people
Or being
that are doing it.
or being accessible like that.
This is what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Because then it becomes a pyramid scheme. Come like,
Yeah.
remember, I don't know if
Exactly.
anyone got roped into one of them ACN meetings. But
Oh my
that's
God.
what it's like.
When a friend you haven't seen for a long time, like, let's meet up.
Yeah, and then you
Yeah.
end up in a
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
room, and then again, like
They only tell you when you get there,
Yeah.
not before the meetup.
Do you
Yeah.
think social media has, let's say, made you feel like alone or alone on an island? Let's put it that way.
I feel like
As being an adult or growing adult.
yeah, I get what you mean by that. I think social media again can give you an idea that you're being social when you're not. So like you can spend weeks, or even there's certain people that I speak to that I consider myself to like speak to almost on a almost daily basis. But we don't really speak. All we're doing is swapping memes with each other.
It's true.
We might say one or two comments in between those memes, but I might not have physically seen that person or physically spoke to that person in a year or so. You get what I mean? So I think again, it does a good job of making you feel that you're being social when you're actually not. And
Like
then
you feel like you're connected, but you're not. So
Yeah.
but you're actually isolated. So you might be on your bed for like 12 hours in one day and sending memes to about 12 people, but you still feel isolated.
Yeah.
Which is why I think that, let's say back in the day, we always interacted with each other. We always spoke. And now that we just speak through memes or we speak through this alternate world, we will always feel this sense of isolation, and that will lead into depression, where we feel like we need to perform. I need to perform to this crowd.
Yeah.
But this crowd is not necessarily looking at you. I see a post I might like, and it's gone.
yeah.
Yeah.
And again,
I
it might
don't
be
sit there and
about,
dwell on it and go, oh, they're doing so well. Where's that house?
But there's some people that are.
A lot, yeah. Some people do. I think you've learned to master.
So, yeah.
But I wanted to say that on the opposite side of feeling isolated or feeling alone, and again, this could still end up quite negatively. But I think the opposing side is that sometimes I've come across posts that have made me feel seen through social media, because, like, I think like there was that Humans of New York, that photographer. That, I don't know if you guys followed that page, but I think now they do humans of different places. But he used to go around New York taking pictures of people, and the caption was their stories or something interesting about them. That was one of the first pages that I was like, wow, this is amazing. And reading stories like that made me feel seen, because I'm like, okay, fair enough, I see people in real life, but sometimes you don't talk about these things that you get to see online. You get to see other stories where you're like, I thought this really happens to me. And it makes you feel connected. But then the extreme side of that is sometimes you allow yourself more access to bad news. Because you're like, okay, this is relatable, but this is so much. This is back to back. And I think that could be triggering as well. Because it's like, oh my God, I've just escaped that issue here. And I was kind of looking for an escape, but now I'm seeing this now. And then it's everywhere. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can feel isolated, which is bad, but sometimes you can feel relatable.
Yeah, there's a sense of unity.
It could be overwhelming as well, because there's no cap on the amount of information that you have, whether it's good or bad, and which can be overwhelming either way.
100%.
And I think just to add on that as well, I think there's a feeling that comes after when you've sat down maybe for 2 hours or 3 hours just scrolling, and you just feel empty at the end of it.
Drained.
Like
just come back into the real world a little bit. You're like, wow, I've literally just...
There's this empty feeling afterwards.
And then you have a choice.
Yeah.
So a lot of people who are aware will go, oh, I feel empty. And then some people will be like, I feel empty. I need to go back. I need to plug myself back into this to feel.
And those are the people that be leaving weird comments with them. It's them.
Sit there and just want to be involved.
I always wonder,
Because you
sitting down.
look at it and you're like, no, you are empty. Something happened that.
And then they don't even have a profile picture.
I think we all just use social media in so different ways. Like, I don't really look at likes. I don't really look at comments unless somebody goes, oh, look at this comment. But I can see the need for it.
Yeah.
But it took me a long time to kind of see it in that lens.
Yeah, I think it's just better if you can pick and choose. Now that, again, you've got this kind of random scrolling thing where it just shows you videos that they think that you like because the algorithm says, you looked at 4 videos that include this, and now I'm going to give you this.
I have a lot.
Yeah. So I feel like before, it's like going to a library, let's say. You wouldn't just read a page of every book off every shelf. You would look around and say, oh, that looks interesting. I'm interested in this topic. You'd take the book, you'd read it, and then you'd move on kind of thing. But I feel like Instagram doesn't allow you to have that level of choice. It's just very much so just feeding you again. That's why I think people need to be really aware of the confirmation bias. Like I said, this kind of, all it does is designed to feed into the things that you already like and you already know, which can in itself be quite dangerous because we're not designed to just feed into things that we already like and already know. We're meant to be learning and experiencing different things, because when you tap too much into just what you know, then anything outside of that, you other it. So then they become competition, or they become not so smart, or not so this or not so that. Whereas then if you're open to it, loads of different things, then it allows your mind to develop in a much more positive way, I think.
So what advice would you give to somebody who's battling with social media?
I would say switch it off. That's what I would say. Not like permanently, but like just like be abrupt. Be abrupt with it. The moment that you start to feel this is not serving me or this is not positive, switch it off for that hour. And then allow yourself to digest the feelings and thoughts that you're having, because it's easy to slap it away if you keep scrolling, if you keep doing what you're doing. But if you pause and allow yourself to actually take it in,
and dwell in that emotion,
then you can understand, this is serving me this way. Is this what I truly need? Is this what I truly like? It's kind of like similar for when we went into lockdown. A lot of people kind of got that realization where, for a lot of people, they were just moving through life. I was one of those people, very guilty, moving through life, working, studying this. I need to get it, because that's what social media kind of tells you need to do. I need to have a house, a car, 2 kids and a dog, and need to have something abroad and be in Dubai next week and all of that. I need to have the latest deal.
I need to be doing something
all the time, every day. And then when we was forced to just chill and do nothing, and you all of a sudden, all of these people that were so, they fed into it so much that they needed to be at a restaurant in order to snap that meal and say that I'm here and put in the location. Now that everything's closed, who are you?
They weren't taking pictures of them.
That's what I'm saying. Cook something at home and show me that. That's actually more impressive to me.
For me, I wouldn't necessarily say go teetotal. I would say obviously dwell in your emotions and dwell in your thoughts, but more so kind of like strive for social interaction. Like live social interaction with friends. Because I think about it, that there is a book, I totally forgot the name, but the person talks about basically going like back home, they always talk with each other. When they sit down and have a meal, they speak to each other. So having that community aspect will make you feel a lot more grounded with your emotions. You are at that point, you'll feel safe to actually talk to people who actually care and actually care about you. Yeah. And you will feed your community. That way you will actually feel like, okay, then I'm not doing this alone. Yeah. I'm not performing for Joe Bloggs who lives in America, who I don't even know. I'm moving ahead and I've got my family or my friends behind me.
Yeah. I was going to go into that as well. I was going to say a good way to manage your social media intake is actually doing something outside of social media. I think as humans we crave interactions, we crave to be seen to some extent, we crave to be touched, to be loved, to be interacted with, and a lot of us are looking for that on social media, or we're looking to see other people receiving that on social media. We don't even know that we're getting a bit of just by seeing that, whereas after the social media goes off, we're kind of like, what now? And I think that's where that sadness comes in. I think like take it in to be like, oh, actually that kind of feels empty, but what can I do with this emptiness? You know what? I'm going to go gardening. I'm going to go I'm going to go meet up with my friends for drinks. I'm going to go to the art gallery. I'm going to go.
But you're going to live your life that's not
you're
lived
actually
in a lens,
you're
like
actually
lived your life.
experiencing it, yeah, rather than just seeing other people experiencing it, and then you get to like you actually get to be part of the experience as well. Because I think social media takes that a bit from us, because sometimes we watch things and we feel like we've experienced it, but we haven't actually got to actually be there in the physicalness ourselves and actually taking in the experience.
Yeah. Definitely. I always say everything in moderation. Too much of something is not good as well. And if it has a negative impact on you or is causing you to feel a certain way, step back, have a detox, and then go again and see. Feeling overwhelmed and it's making you feel anxious and you're feeling depressed, that's having a negative effect. So just take a moment, take a step back and do something else, just like what you said.
Especially for mothers, there's a lot of children now that have speech delay and like, I think parents are not interacting with their children as much anymore as we used to get interaction with our parents.
Oh yeah, we did.
So important. But do you know what? The children of today, they are very advanced with technology as well.
They don't know how to either regulate their emotions or speak. And I feel like we should always, if we think about it, I always used to put this example in, is that before social media and before Instagram, we all had photo albums at home.
Yes.
We didn't overshare. We had a pride of keeping things private.
Yeah.
And things that we shared could probably be clothes and stuff like that. But that would be it. Whereas now we share so much. So doing that teetotal, and it's very hard for somebody who is coping with anxiety and depression to take a step back because they've been so connected for so long. But you need to always prioritize that I have friends. And just because it looks like they're busy, they do have time for me.
Yeah.
You say that you wanted to just meet up as a park bench, free as day. It might not be the glorious Dubai or the photo with the passport, but that's real life.
Yeah, just to add on to what you said earlier, I think it's very important to take regular breaks from social media as well. I've had 2 situations where I was forced to go offline completely, off WhatsApp, off Instagram, off everything for a period of 8 weeks. And that was the best time of my life because I was able to connect with people in real life and have real life conversations. So I think taking like a week off, sometimes even a month, could actually be very beneficial for your mental health
fasting.
as well.
Very. I'm going to move on to a quiz, which is called Battlefield Quiz. So I'm going to ask a series of questions. You write down the answer and we share it. Tell me when you're ready. Ready. First question is, what is the most heavily used social media platform in the world?
Ooh. Do we have, is it multiple choice?
No, this one's not multiple choice.
Kind of
you
like
know what?
thingy, but...
Okay.
Oh,
Get ready to lock in your answers.
Oh, this one's quite tricky.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Actually...
Are you changing that, Trish?
Oh, okay.
No. I'm changing.
Okay.
Yeah, 1 second.
Okay, 3 second countdown. 3,
Okay,
2,
if this is wrong, I'm gonna
1.
because the way you said that to me.
Okay, lock in your answers.
Where am I putting it?
Instagram, say it. So, Karl,
Instagram.
Levi,
TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I was actually gonna say Facebook,
Trish,
It could be TikTok.
what's your answer?
Instagram.
Rose?
Is YouTube even a social...
It is, but
is it?
unfortunately, you're all incorrect.
Serious?
Facebook.
Did I not?
What did you do that,
No,
Look, that was my first...
I was going to wrap up Instagram and I was gonna put Facebook. This girl said to me, "Are you changing it?" Because I was thinking, now Facebook,
Facebook,
You know what they
because the
normally
aunties
say?
and uncles. But
Normally
then I said
say
YouTube. Everyone
in
watches
school?
What
YouTube.
did they say?
No one hardly even watches.
Never
TikTok
rub out
anymore.
your
Okay,
first answer.
from
Yeah,
never rub out your
Yeah,
first
it's true.
answer. So the answer is Facebook. So from November 2023, it was recorded that 3 billion people on
Boy,
Facebook.
we need to be jumping.
You know,
on
half
Facebook
of them
for
accounts are not
business,
even
boy.
active.
No,
Someone
they said it was active apparently. They said it was active accounts. So the second question is, what is the second leading social media platform?
So you said YouTube is included now. I'm just checking.
Social
We're actually
media.
counting it.
There's so many social medias. Okay. 3 second countdown. 3, 2, 1.
Oh wait, hold on.
Answers, please. Let's start with Rose. YouTube. Trish.
I don't care.
You give it 2.
Yeah. I put YouTube and Instagram.
You can't put, rub one off. We'll come back to you. Karl,
You know what?
TikTok. Levi.
Oh, TikTok is a good one.
You said Instagram.
Yeah.
Insta.
Loads of
Trish, your final answer?
Insta.
It's actually YouTube.
Yeah. It would be.
Then again,
So YouTube is 2.5
TV anymore.
recorded from November
but I don't-
2023.
Actually, no, you do have a
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
We watch YouTube on TV.
Yeah, I don't watch TV anymore.
You're like connected.
Okay, number 3. What is the fastest growing social media platform?
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure everyone should get this.
The one
The
that-
fastest growing. That's the key. Fastest.
Now it's
New. Yep, correct. It's all TikTok. Now, who brought Twitter and what is the new name?
Oh,
Wait,
come
is
on.
it-
Oh, I just did that.
That one was so simple.
I've never even had Twitter, so I wouldn't even know.
It's a letter that he put. That's
Yeah,
that's
somebody put it.
I forgot who even owns that.
yeah, I know who it is because he traumatized me. I got beef.
I'm just doing what he does.
Okay, so Rose has got X, Trish has got X and Elon Musk. Elon.
Is it Steve Jobs?
Man is creating stuff.
Very
beyond his
close,
brain.
in a way.
Very,
One of
very
them right there.
close. It's Elon Musk. It's now called X.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna get. Okay, when was the next question? Question 5. When was the first social media platform created? A, 2002. B, 2005. C, 1997. Or D, 2010.
I was gonna shout.
Oh, that's quite hard.
The first
We had the
social
high
media-
five.
So I'll say
This is what I
A,
think.
2002, B, 2005, C, 1997, and D, 2010.
The first social media platform.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 2010. I feel like it might be now.
I think I've been a bit delusional, but I feel like it's.
I feel like that's from
Okay, so say your answers. Karl, 2002.
yeah.
2002, Levi. 1997, Elijah.
97.
Trish is 97.
2005.
5. The correct answer is Elijah and Trish, 1997. I unfortunately forgot what it's called. I wrote it down, but it's not here. And Bebo, it's called, I can't remember the name. It's on my mobile. I'm going to write it down.
What was my?
But it was like,
early 2000s.
it was a
It was
networking
early,
platform.
2000s.
So they were
That's why I
using
thought
it
it
to
had to be
communicate.
earlier.
Yeah, sorry, that's naughty of me. I will add the details in the description. Name of the social media platform that dominated MySpace. So took over.
What was the question?
So what? Well, it's not the same owner, but they just became dominant.
Okay, so they went like after MySpace.
So MySpace took over. So people jumped on that wave. So they transferred.
Connecting.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, high five. Forgot about that. Okay.
That's definitely not the answer then.
That's not the answer. Yeah,
I know.
that did not take over.
Let's
my
look in the
head.
answers.
Wait.
Let's look in the answers.
Wait.
Facebook.
I just write.
Facebook is the correct answer.
You threw me off with
It was
that one.
Tom. It was Tom on
he
my
said
in terms
Where
of
people
popularity.
start, there we go.
Facebook's been around for a long time, you know.
What is the 3 dangers of social media? If you can identify some. Somebody's touched on one of those already. Should I say it?
No.
Okay.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Rose, say yours, please.
Self-esteem issues.
Okay.
I'm writing bad. Sorry.
Karl,
I only got 2, but
bullying.
and identity fraud.
Okay.
Damn.
Yeah, I got 3. Cyberbullying.
Oh, was that supposed to be
data
more than
privacy.
one?
Yeah, it's supposed to be 3.
Oh, sorry.
Elijah,
You had
Anxiety,
a whole 5
depression,
seconds.
Trish.
So I put stalking, mental health deterioration, oversharing.
Okay, so you've touched on some of it. Cyberbullying, theft, invasion of privacy, grooming, and risk of harm for children and mental health. So there's many others, but those are the ones that I've identified for now. And the last question, what is the minimum age that a child has to be in order to create most social media accounts?
I should know this.
Yeah, it doesn't always apply in the UK, but it's like internationally.
Are we talking internationally or the UK?
Internationally. Because not all social medias are created from people from the UK.
Yeah, I feel like I knew it, but no. Anyway.
Like anybody can make it.
Anybody can make it. Right, let's look in the answers. 3, 2, 1. 14, Rose. Trish.
Yeah, I feel like
13.
It's quite young.
Oh, yeah, babies do it.
Karl is
Parents
8.
do it.
Levi's 14.
I put
and
down 6.
13. So Trish got that. So it's 13 and plus.
I'm close.
So,
Look at me.
So all these parents had there. You got your little.
So,
your social
yeah,
media.
we have a winner. Who do you think's the winner?
Oh, it was actually a competition.
Yeah.
I don't think I got that much.
Quite impressed.
You got the most out of everyone here.
So
Surprise!
the winner is Trish.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Next time,
Congratulations,
she is not
Chris.
putting down 2 answers.
No. I made her rub it out, and she only put one.
Excuse me, I didn't know who was winning.
And she also made me rub out. Also made me not put the right one. Remember how you tricked me? I'll put Instagram, and I was gonna rub it out. She said, "Trish, how you gonna rub that out?"
I'm gonna go.
I was like, "Okay, let me leave it."
So yeah, Trish, you can have a little moment, do your little speech. And
Oh my god! Okay, so this represents the future for me. Yeah, so I'm definitely gonna be winning something.
I'm not building anymore. I'm destroying.
I just want to thank you guys. You guys don't know this. This is actually history. You guys don't know it, yeah. But I'm going to be quoting you guys one day. I'm going to say I was in a room full of people one day, and I told them that this was going to happen in real life.
there you go.
And we're going to remember this moment. But thank you guys.
Yeah, so thank you. So that's the end of our segment today. Thank you for tuning in. Please continue to follow us on our Bespoke Mind socials, and see you soon.
Who would have known what happened that day if I smoked the weed? See what I mean? So just certain little things like that. So I didn't have any obvious maladaptive methods. I just hated myself, just cried to sleep.